Sometimes it takes a little elbow grease to try to track people down, and sometimes they're hiding in plain sight.
He felt like he was a woman.
He was a cross-dresser. He liked to dress like a female.
People frowned upon because you didn't see that all the time.
Probably a big reason why he's been missing for as long as he has.
20 years, that's a long time.
Yes, sir.
If you're hitting up on a person that looked very attractive and then you come to find out that the person isn't the person that you thought it was, it would probably aggravate one.
What do you think happened to Jamie Mayberry?
My speculation is he was probably murdered.
I believe it was a hate crime.
Absolutely.
You may think that you got away with something, but you didn't. It's never going to be over.
Investigations are like a puzzle. You're trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together to get an answer. Law enforcement, it was my calling. You know, I've been doing it my adult life. Kenedy was the first police officer job I had. The chief of police at the time was a good friend of mine. His name was Irving Snell.
So he would have been in charge of the investigation?
Yes, sir, yes.
The chief told you he interviewed someone over the phone?
Yes, sir, he did.
So the first name on the list of suspects on the police report is Johnny Farias. Witnesses say that he went to this bar where Jamie Mayberry was that night and started hitting on him. And when he found out that he was not a woman, he got upset and got really threatening. Then after Jamie went missing, Johnny is nowhere to be found. We can't find him, and neither can police. Did he just get out of town fast?
A few days after Mr. Mayberry came up missing, and as a police officer, that would send up a little clue why.
Would you have done anything differently with the investigation yourself if you had been in charge of it?
I always do face-to-face interviews. You read body language that way, especially when you ask the tough question, you know, point blank. You want to see the reaction.
Back then, the Kenedy Police Department was pretty small. There were only 6 officers, and within a year after Jamie went missing, all of them had left the force. Those who we were able to track down weren't talking, or they wouldn't say much, only that they didn't remember very much about the case. And unfortunately, the lead investigator, which was the police chief from back then, he died a few years ago, which is why it was important to find someone who really knew what was going through his head at that time. So I tracked down a good friend and colleague who took me to a place where the two of them had actually searched for Jamie together. What was the thought that Jamie Mayberry might be in this cemetery or this area?
You know, somebody trying to hide his body or try to hide evidence, trying to locate a torn piece of clothing, a shoe, just anything that you wouldn't normally find in a cemetery.
This might be a coincidence, but we were in a cemetery talking about this case. And then we came across another court document from about a year after Jamie went missing. It also mentioned a cemetery. There was a guy who was picked up by 2 men and a woman in a car, robbed, and then beaten up. He was able to get free. He told police when he asked the driver, "Where are you taking me?" She said, "The cemetery." That driver was Diana Perez, and she went to prison for nearly 11 years in this incident for aggravated kidnapping and robbery. It turns out that's the same Diana Perez that is on a list of suspect names on Jamie Mayberry's missing persons report. We know she was questioned in Jamie's case, but no one was ever charged. And today, police tell us that she's only a witness. They still want to talk to her, though, to see if her story's changed after all of these years, but they tell us that they can't find her. We are out in the middle of nowhere.
I have my go-to sources that I like to try to find phone numbers and addresses. It's not always the first one that pops up.
Just go down this road, straight down this road, and then take a left.
This address didn't work out, let's move on to the next one.
Hey there, I'm looking for Diana Perez.
It's always exciting when you knock on that door and you're able to talk to them.
Hi, are you Diana?
Yes.
I'm Josh, I'm a reporter from Austin. We're working on a story about Jamie Mayberry. I wondered if you might know him.
You can get off my property right now is what you can do.
Okay, is there a reason you won't talk with me?
You can get off my property right now.
Okay.
We have a right to bear arms, and I'm not scared to use them, so get off my property right now.
Did you know that Kenedy police are looking for you?
Before I use force.
you hear that?
Josh sent me a video of the encounter and I watched it, and I had to watch it a couple of times because I was like, I can't believe this happened.
You can get off my property right now.
So we share that with the detective, and so the text message says, before we left Kenedy, I tracked down Diana Perez at a home near Three Rivers. Please let me know if you're able to reach her and move the case forward. Shows that he read the message, but there hasn't been any kind of response, and it's been several days.
My kids, boy, they would really love him. I talk about him all the time. I know your life goes on.
And he wouldn't want us to give up. He would tell us not to give up, to keep fighting.